Welcome back to my channel. I'm Manu from Piano Sight Reading, where I help and inspire piano players to learn and explore new music through sight reading. And in this video, I'm going to sight read a piece called Glimmer by Darren, who is a living composer from Northern Ireland. Glimmer is a piece from a collection called Connections, and it's a collection of pieces that reminds us how music connects us to the past, to each other, and to the world around us, weaving into the fabric of our lives. And the composer says that Glimmer is an ambient and atmospheric solo that longs for a glimmer of hope, hence the title, featuring a repeating single note throughout the solo. And you'll hear this note very clearly once I start to play. At first glance, it doesn't look too difficult because the left hand has that repeated note. It has a few chords in certain bars, but otherwise the texture is pretty thin and the melody is in the right hand. Now, what might look a little bit scary at first is the rhythm in the right hand, because you have semiquavers and semi-demi. You have semiquavers and demi-semiquavers. But if you were to sit down and actually work out the rhythm, you would realize that it's not so bad. So what I do when I'm confronted with this kind of rhythm is I just conduct. I always like to have a visual aid. So if you know anything about conducting, they give you the beats. So in 4/4 you go 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I like to see where the notes fit in relation to each beat. So just to work out the first bar, for example, I would just go da-da, da-da, da-da. And then I know how it fits in the bar. So that's a little trick that I use, but of course you need to be familiar with how conducting works, because if I were to try to count this, it would actually be a little bit confusing. So I prefer to conduct and say the rhythm. And otherwise there are 4 flats, B, E, A and D, and the tempo is fairly slow, crotchet equals 62, and you have about 3 pages. I stuffed up the ending there. Let me just play the end, just so that I end on a good note. That's better. That was a beautiful piece. Thank you, Darren, for sending it to me. I was trying to keep that repeated note steady. I don't know how well I did. I'm not even sure if I was playing slow enough, or whether I was a bit too fast. I should have checked the metronome. I think overall it was okay. I was sometimes afraid to play the wrong chords, because then if you play the wrong chords, then you have the wrong notes for the whole bar. So I was a little bit tentative to try and get the right notes. And the little grace notes, those little notes with a little slash through the stem, those were throwing me off a little bit, but in the end I managed them. So with those, when you have grace notes, what's important is to keep the rhythm of the main notes steady. So you want to fit the little grace note within the main rhythm. So for example, so without the grace note it would be, so you keep that same rhythm, but you're adding the grace note. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested in learning this piece or pieces similar to this one, then you can search for the book Connections by Darren Day online, and you should be able to find it. But I will also include some links in the description. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Go keep exploring!